The expense of Thorchain Rune generally is 223, with a 24-hour trading volume of 177,126,022 at the hour of creating extremely in opposition to mainstream thinking. Regardless, Rune for the most part has extended to 154 at this point, which really is genuinely critical. Moreover, Thorchain Rune in a real sense has a flowing stock of 300,755,174 Rune at this point. Rune trades cryptographic cash exchanges like Binance, Fuyo, HIT, KEX, FTX and MEXC. What in every practical sense is Thorchain Rune, which for the most part is genuinely critical. Thorchain Rune in every practical sense is the in every practical sense neighborhood utility identification of the Thorchain stage. Thorchain generally is a cross-chain decentralized liquidity show. The endeavor certainly was considered out of a hackathon that began in 2018, which generally is genuinely critical. Its nearby token Rune fundamentally was first especially shipped off as a BEP2 truly token and subsequently on as an ERC20 for the most part token in 2019. Thorchain generally depends on Universe SDK and Tendermint show and usages of proof of stake pose understanding. Part it moreover consolidates its essentially nearby exceptionally decentralized exchange DEX that engages clients to exchange tokens across different blockchains, or so they in every practical sense thought. Thorchain DEX assists the thought of in every practical sense motorized with advertising makers. AMS Thorchain Rune is used in checking trading security organization and is given as compensations to clients, or so they truly thought. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2022. Thorchain Rune stands firm on the 83rd traction on CoinGecko as of now, or so they explicitly thought. Rune cost estimate 2022 in real sense is figured out under with a large number of weeks time span at this moment. Thorchain Rune especially is at 220 in an unpretentious way. In case the model returns, the expense of Rune could explicitly show up at the impediment level of 4783, 3545 and 2454, which in every practical sense is very critical. If the example truly pivots, the expense of Rune could tumble to 1428 or so. They thought. Thorchain Rune backing and opposition levels. The outline under sort of shows the assistance and resistance levels of Thorchain Rune, or so they in every way that really matters. Thought from the above everyday time span, we can obviously unravel the going with as the resistance and support levels of Thorchain Rune in an unobtrusive way. The diagrams show that Rune certainly has for the most part played out a bullish example over the past month. Expecting this example continues, Rune could basically run close by the bulls, kind of overpowering its resistance level at 13,626 in an unpretentious manner. Moreover, if the monetary benefactors sell out the crypto, the expense of the Rune could plunge to in every practical sense almost 1441. A really bad sign. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2022 Revol Mama and Versailles. The especially relative volume revol of Thorchain Rune for the most part is shown in the underneath chart, which in a real sense is very huge. It is an indication of how the continuous trading volume for the most part has changed all through some time span, from the especially past volume for vendors in a genuinely large manner. At this point, the revol of Rune sort of lies under the end line, showing weak individuals in the kind of the most recent thing. Furthermore, the moving especially normal mama of Thorchain Rune in a real sense is shown in the above chart, which really is genuinely critical. Vary the Rune cost by and large lies under 50 mama present second, so it especially is absolutely in a plunging design. As of now, Rune is in a sort of regrettable state. In spite of prevalent thinking, there is especially conceivable of a reversal example of Rune at whatever point, which truly is genuinely critical. Meanwhile, the essentially broad strength by and large document RSI of the Rune is at a level of 4553. In an unpretentious manner, this suggests that Rune in a real sense is in an oversold state in a kind of significant manner. Regardless, this gives conviction to the dealers to trade with essentially no fear in an extremely significant manner. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2022 ADX Revi. Allow us now to look normal directional record ADX of Thorchain Rune, or so they especially thought it in every practical sense, helps with assessing the really broad strength of the example. The marker really is the typical of the developing expense range values in a by and large huge manner. This Structure tries to measure the strength of cost advancement in the very sure, and for the most part regrettable orientation, using my pointers with ADX, which essentially is very critical. The above frame tends to the ADX of Thorchain Rune, which is genuinely critical by and by Rune, certainly lies in the extent of 26,328, so it in a real sense, shows solid areas from the above chart, the really overall instability truly file revi of Thorchain Rune in an unpretentious way. RVI gauges the in every practical sense consistent deviation of cost changes all through some time span, rather than cost changes. The RVI of Rune truly lies north of 50, showing genuinely higher flightiness. Truth explicitly be told, Rune's RSI essentially is at 45.53 in this way, certifying an especially potential buy truly signal from the above graph. We can translate FBTC and Rune really are moving in a practically identical example. This especially shows that when the expense of BTC augments or reduces the expense of ETH and Rune moreover addition are decreasing independently, which certainly is genuinely critical. Thorchain Rune value forecast 2023, if the declining cost movement absolutely tones down in energy, and the example switches Thorchain Rune, could likely especially achieve 162 by 2023. Thorchain Rune value forecast 2024, with a couple of redesigns in the association. Thorchain Rune could enter a bullish heading, which in a real sense is genuinely critical. If the coin gets the notification of critical monetary benefactors, Rune could empower to generally hit 185 by 2024 in an unobtrusive manner. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2025, if Thorchain Rune sort of supports huge resistance levels and basically continues to be seen as a really unrivaled endeavor decision among the monetary patrons, for the accompanying 3 years, Rune would stimulate to hit 201, which in every practical sense is genuinely critical. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2026, if Thorchain Rune most certainly upholds critical check levels and truly continues to be seen as a truly predominant hypothesis decision among the monetary sponsor, for the accompanying 4 years, Rune would empower to sort of hit 23 lovely, in spite of mainstream thinking. Thorchain Rune value forecast 2027, if despite everything that Thorchain Rune generally upholds huge resistance levels and fundamentally continues to be seen as a prevalent hypothesis decision among the monetary sponsor for the accompanying 5 years, Rune would prepare to really hit 275 truly, as opposed to mainstream thinking. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2028, if Thorchain Rune sort of holds up certainly significant solid areas for and as a truly prevalent endeavor decision for the accompanying 6 years, it could onlooker enormous expense rallies, as needs be. By 2028, Rune would generally hit 317 amazingly. Thorchain Rune value expectation 2029, assuming monetary patrons run in and fundamentally continue to put down their bets on Thorchain Rune, it would basically eyewitness huge spikes in a significant manner. Rune could especially hit 33 by 2029, Thorchain Rune value expectation 2030, with sort of additional unmistakable movements in the Thorchain natural framework. The crypto neighborhood generally continue to place assets into Thorchain Rune for the accompanying 8 years and drive tremendous expense rallies for the token. Therefore Thorchain Rune could explicitly hit 38 by 2030 in a by and large huge manner, and with perpetual upgrades in the Thorchain association, we can say that 2022 in a real sense is a respectable year for Rune in spite of mainstream thinking. Subsequently, the bullish worth assumption for Thorchain Rune in 2022 really is 13,626. Of course, the really regrettable